So, welcome everybody to episode 7 of the Before It Was Cool podcast. This is a monumental show because today we're introducing Jay, the new semi-regular co-host of the show. Hello, everyone,
I'm
Jay.
back, motherfuckers! I'll have another drink now.
Yes, in case you don't know, Jay was on the first, 3 out of the first 4 episodes. Because we talked for so long, I had to splice it into literally 3 fucking episodes. But today on the podcast, we have something very cool. For the first time ever, we have a 3-way call going on with my friend James Hardy. Introduce yourself to everyone, James.
Hey guys, how are we doing? My name's James. Mate of Tom's from back through school. God, how long we known each other for now, Tom?
Shit. Going on 25 years?
Yeah, be about that now, man.
Back in primary school. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah.
All started with a scribble.
And that beats you and me, Jay, by 8 years almost.
Yeah, something like that. But hey, in the end, who out of Tom and I was your best man? Me? Yeah, I think the facts prove themselves. I'm not competitive at all.
Yeah.
But no, welcome, Tom. Welcome, Tom. Welcome, James. Hopefully, we're going to have a pretty good time. So, Tom, what was the topics we were going to talk about, or are you going to go into theme music first?
We're going to go into general topics. We're going to discuss everything Batman for the length of this podcast and maybe a few other things towards the end. But, yeah, hopefully we end up bouncing off each other and having a good conversation. Some friendly arguments here and there. Everybody knows that me and Jay love the friendly little arguments. I, for one, think 1994 is the greatest year in film. Jay's a fucking idiot.
Let it go. Let it go.
Alrighty, so we're going to bust out the theme song and then we're going to get into the rest of the show. Enjoy. Welcome.
Welcome to the Before It Was Cool podcast.
And that was the theme song, and this is the Before It Was Cool podcast. Now, so for this week, as we've said, we've got 3 hosts, and we are talking about Batman. And the starting topic that we will obviously go on a complete tangent and end up fucking probably talking about Spider-Man or something else that's not even at the same comic company. But the starting topic is the best actor to play Batman, so the best Batman and the worst Batman. I think we'll just start with the worst one because that's going to be a very fucking quick thing to say because I think we are all in agreement and I think the entire internet's pretty much in agreement about it.
Let's all say it at the same time in 3, 2, 1. Michael Keaton.
Tom was the worst Batman.
No,
Tom's Batman had to be handy-capable Batmobile. The Batarang just dragged around like flopping legs. It couldn't really land anywhere.
Oh, God. If I was a superhero, I'll be Thor, motherfuckers.
No, I think you're Thor because you've got a lisp and you're in a lot of pain.
Oh, God damn. No, but genuinely, most people might say George Clooney. The other ones might say Batfleck.
That's the worst. I do see that, and I don't think Clooney was a bad Batman. It's just he was given a bad thing to work with.
Yeah.
No, for me, I don't know. Clooney's Batman was sort of overacted. He played a good Bruce Wayne. He made the good, Playboy Playboy. But that's sort of where his talent ended when it comes to Batman. And not to mention, he was co-starring with the likes of Chris O'Donnell, who just absolutely killed it as Robin and Nightwing.
Just playing it up and and the issue was the Tim Burton Batmans were so much serious, dark, grim, all that sort of thing. Then the next two just went almost to Adam West camp levels with some elements of it.
Well,
And-
Clooney
Yeah,
one
they were
did.
very comedic.
Like the bat nipples, the bat credit card, all that stuff. Like, it went as campy as, like, it almost said Zoink on the fucking screen. Like,
To be honest, that would have improved it.
he was thinking about putting that in. And also, Batman Forever ended Joel Schumacher's career. Like, he retired after that.
Yeah.
Can you blame him?
Not really.
No. Well, Schumacher did Batman and Robin after that.
No, Batman and Robin came before Batman Forever.
No, it was Forever, then Batman and Robin.
It was Forever, then Batman and Robin.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, I always get those two confused. Kilmer was in
Kilmer did the
Forever,
first one.
and then Clooney did the second one. Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's right. And the only reason that Kilmer didn't get it was because of a disagreement that he and Schumacher had on set during Forever. They didn't get along too well, and Schumacher said, "I'm not working with him again," and cast Clooney to be Batman.
But
Batman.
honestly, does Val Kilmer actually get along with everyone? Like from what I've heard, he's like one of the most difficult actors to work with, and like even Oprah doesn't get along with him, and she gives everyone a car. You'd think she gets along with most people.
See, I don't know. I think everyone's problem with Kilmer is the fact that he's very opinionated. And he doesn't hold back on what he thinks. He's quite happy to say what he thinks and stand by what he says. And not many people like that about him.
Oh, see, that's the thing. Like, as an actor, I quite enjoy Kilmer. Like, I love him in Tombstone as Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
Like, he's just awesome. Like, I wish I was that classy a drunk.
Yeah.
Or he got used to it in The Doors. He played Jim Morrison to perfection.
That's the thing, though. I mean, everyone whinges about working with him, but how many iconic films has he actually been in?
Exactly.
Yeah, like Batman. Oh, wait. I don't think it's iconic for the right reasons.
See, the actor I was more disappointed being cast for Batman, and whether it was a live-action movie or an animated film, was Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay, when was that? I didn't pick up on that one.
I was going to say, when was Kimmel
was Batman. So Jimmy Kimmel was Batman for the Teen Titans movie.
Ah.
He did the voice of Batman.
That doesn't seem like a good casting choice.
He's probably the only actor that I really can complain about. I wasn't a real big fan, and it threw me off because he just didn't have that Batman feel to his voice. I mean, obviously, we're yet to find out what Patterson can do.
I think he's going to be all right.
Well, like, what was it, The Lighthouse that he was in?
Yeah.
The Lighthouse, yeah. And that was awesome. Like, he was really good in that.
He was also really good in Tenet as well. The other Christopher Nolan film, the newest one. He was really good in that.
Christopher Nolan, not Christian Nolan.
I said Christopher, didn't I?
You said Christian.
Oh, Christopher Nolan. His newest film, and what was The Lost City of Zed with Charlie Hunnam.
Okay, no, I haven't seen that one.
He was so fucking good.
He has had some surprising roles.
He's trying his hardest to shake off that Twilight image that he got.
I'm sorry.
It's going to be hard for him.
That came out of Twilight on a good note was Taylor Lautner. He's the only one that came out of it with
Has he though? Like, what's he really done since? He did the hate.
He's done a few good movies since then. He did that. What was it? Now I've got to find out what his name.
If you bring up the Netflix one with bloody Adam Sandler, I'm going to smack you.
Ridiculous.
No, it was the one. No, there was one that he did where he I can't remember the name of the movie, but his parents were actually not his parents. He was the son of secret agents that were killed and put into housing with two other agents.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
No, that was before.
No, because
that was him too.
Movie as well.
That was him as well. Just saying.
It was. But that's what I said. He was the only one that came out of Twilight better than what he was beforehand.
Oh, no, wasn't one of the
Not
Fanning sisters
really.
in there and she's gone on well?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
not really, because like every one of Taylor Lautner's films since then have flopped. The only one, in my opinion, that came out of Twilight unscathed was Rami Malek.
What? And moving on to playing Freddy, and he also did a lot of stuff with SNL, didn't he?
Yeah, but he won a fucking Oscar.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not denying his skills.
He's the only one that came out of Twilight unscathed, in my opinion. Pattinson's
Well,
working very fucking hard to redeem that scathing that he got, but and he hates
Well,
the
he's trying
fucking
to.
movies.
Yeah, he's
So
trying
that
to
movie
shake
I was
off being a.
referring to is called Abduction.
Yeah,
And that was the Lautner one?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Well, like, Robert Pattinson's trying to shake off the sparkly vampire feel, but do you know how hard it is to actually get freaking glitter off you? Like, that shit is like herpes. You can't get rid of it. You're stuck with it.
You would know
Yeah.
all about herpes.
Yeah, I slept with your mum.
Oh, you have to do it with my dad on that one.
Well, he was watching dressed as Batman, strangely enough. Full circle.
And speaking of best live action Batmans,
Each one's like, it is a harder decision, I find. I'll let the host go first. Go for it, James.
I don't know. For me, I'm a fan of Michael Keaton's Batman. Batman Forever was probably my favorite, but I don't know, it is a hard choice because it is a toss-up between Batman Forever and Batman Robin. They were probably my two most favorite Batman films.
I sure hope you're kidding about this.
No, seriously, they were like, so they were the sort of the first. Yeah, I enjoyed them. I thought they were great.
They're amusing and everything, but when they're part of a series that was already starting with a very serious overtone, and then they go to that, it's just such a complete change in tone.
I don't know. It's sort of for the time that they were done, there was sort of the direction that most films like that were going.
Yeah, but like considering Burton was about to start a whole Justice League series, he was gonna cast Nick Cage in the Superman reboot. It should have stayed dark. The reason why the Superman movie didn't happen is because Batman and Robin failed.
I don't know. I guess it was more so the actors that portrayed the characters through those movies that stood out for me. I mean, like I said, Chris O'Donnell was to me like still he's one of the best actors that I've seen play Robin and Nightwing. I thought he was great.
Schwarzenegger was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, who else would you have got to play Mr. Freeze that well?
True. Maybe Danny DeVito.
What about Thurman? What about Thurman and Ivy? Like, perfect as Ivy.
Oh, absolutely. But then you had Bane. And like that version of Bane was just heartbreaking because Bane was the.
It was.
There hasn't been a perfect version of Bane in a movie.
Look at
Tom Hardy's was good, but it wasn't what Bane was, if you know what I mean. It wasn't that big hulking monster.
I did enjoy like Tom Hardy's Bane. I thought he played it well for what he was given to work with. But the costume design, all that sort of stuff, I mean, they have no say in that. They're told how to look. Yeah. Which obviously they could have done a hell of a lot better with the Bane costume.
Yeah.
Well, I will admit that Dark Knight Rises was like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed some parts of it, but it was such a letdown compared to The Dark Knight. Like, The Dark Knight was really well done, and then you watch Dark Knight Rises, and it's just like, oh, okay. Here's Bane, this big intimidating thing. Oh, I got a bike with a gun. Kapow. Oh, there goes Bane. It was very anticlimactic, and it could have been so much better with what they did with him. And just the entire movie was a bit of a letdown compared to what the other one was.
True.
Yeah, see, but the stories were told well. Obviously,
it's just the storyline itself that was lacking.
Yeah, they left. There were so many huge factors that they left out that needed to be put in.
Yeah, like in that regards, like The Dark Knight Rises is good, but The Dark Knight was considered and is considered almost a perfect comic book movie, and it's one of the only ones that have ever done it.
Yeah, and it also brought, like, if it wasn't for The Dark Knight Rises, I don't think we would have ended up with The Dark Knight, we wouldn't have ended up with the MCU, because it brought back that interest in comic book characters, in superheroes, all that jazz. Like, yes, we had the earlier Spider-Man series, the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, which also did revive a bit of that, but it was just like it didn't eventuate, whereas that came out, and then we just started seeing the MCU really take off and really go with it with Iron Man.
Yeah. Because originally when Iron Man was pitched and John Favreau pitched it to Kevin Feige, it wasn't meant to be a giant universe. It wasn't meant to be the MCU. It was supposed to be bringing his favorite comic book character to life. And then Kevin Feige went, well, Disney just gave me $80 billion. Let's make a universe.
Yeah. And it kept expanding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now we've got the MCU that we all love.
Exactly.
But anyway, back to Batman, the only thing that's ever been like overly successful out of the DCEU, outside of a little bit of Wonder Woman and a little bit of Aquaman.
And Superman.
Superman wasn't successful in the current DCEU.
Well, Man of Steel did pretty well.
Did it though?
Man of Steel was probably out of the Superman movies that have been done, it was probably one of the better stories told.
It was,
yeah, but that doesn't mean it's good. I mean, that's like saying a solid shit's better than a sloppy shit. Yes, it's better, but it's still shit.
Yeah.
But out of the whole, and I might get some flack for saying this, out of the whole DCU, it's the only good Zack Snyder film.
Because what did he do? He did the Justice League, which the Zack Snyder cut I've heard really positive things about, but that's about it.
It's all right, but it's a fucking marathon.
Yeah, but
watch.
trying to find 4.5 hours free to sit down and watch it.
Obviously, you were never hung over at uni doing Lord of the Rings Extended Edition marathons.
No.
Every time they say the ring, you take a drink, it's fucked.
But he also did Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, which was
we're gonna be friends because we have the same. Our mums have the same name.
Yeah, exactly. Martha.
Yeah, that's a great way to build a friendship. By the way, would that mean that Martha's partners, so Bruce's dad and Clark's adopted dad, would that technically, because they had sex with Martha, that'd make them Martha fuckers?
Oh, the math work.
In case you can't hear me, that's me clapping for you telling a 20-year-old joke.
Yep, worth it. Classics are a classic for a reason. We're talking about 20-plus-year-old movies, so why not?
Yeah, true. Well, Martha and Martha aren't, but yeah.
Yeah, they're not talking about much because they're pretty much forgotten characters or dead.
But yeah, back to Batman. In my book, it's too hard to judge. Christian Bale played the Dark Knight, and that was based on a different set of comic books to what the Burton and the Schumacher Batman's based on, and even the Adam West. And yeah, it was because who did the Dark Knight? It was, what's his name? The guy who did. It was Christopher Nolan.
No. I meant the comic books. The guy who wrote them. It's the same guy who did Sin City and stuff. Miller?
Oh, no,
I'll quickly look it up.
It might have been Miller. It might have been the last thing he did before he created his own universe. Because I know he's got his own.
Let me check. See, I love Sin City, so I should know this. Frank Miller.
Yeah, it is Miller. And he also
Frank Miller. Yeah.
He also did The Watchmen, I believe it was.
No, he didn't do Watchmen.
I thought he did do a run of Watchmen.
Nah, Watchmen was done predominantly by someone else. Let me double check his name.
Well, I know he didn't do the main run, but I'm pretty sure he did a run of Watchmen.
Well, there wasn't really a run. It was a single, like, there's like 2 novels to it. That's it.
Yeah,
and then
I know,
they've recently added it to the DCEU.
He did a special edition.
DCU, sorry.
From what I remember.
Okay.
See, I know that Frank Miller did the storyline for the Daredevil movie.
Yeah. Oh,
Alan Moore was the one who did Watchmen.
Watchmen is another Zack Snyder movie.
Yeah, it's a good one. I actually quite like it when it comes to...
But it's not part of the DCEU.
No, it's not, but the Watchmen characters have recently been added to the DC comic series.
Yeah.
So...
Well, they couldn't...
Who knows? We might have future Rorschach versus Joker for some very entertaining moments, I think.
Yeah. But, I think...
Yeah, but that's like to talk about how I've heard they're looking to bring Blade into the next lot of MCU series.
They've
announced an actor and stuff, and
it's Mashal Ali from the Green Book.
And he was another one. Like, he's obviously a Marvel comic, but he was never a character that was ever really, from my knowledge.
He's been a part of things. Like, he's
mainstream. More recently, but we're talking, back in the 90s.
Oh yeah,
when he was released as a movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go back in the 90s, even comics and that sort of thing, there really wasn't too much of him getting linked in with anyone else in the Marvel universe.
Oh, there was
but they're looking
a bit.
At introducing them now.
There was a bit. There wasn't heaps, but there was some of Blade appearing in the Avengers comic books and stuff like that. But there wasn't a lot. It was mainly with
well, yeah, that's because
against Morbius.
You go, sorry.
It was mainly against Morbius.
And more than that, like, he was also part of, like, when Marvel was concentrating on a horror element. Like, he had the what is it? I sent you the name, and I always get it confused for a 90s movie, the Legion of Monsters or whatever it's called. Let me just quickly find it, Tom. It's in my list. Legion of Monsters. I keep almost saying Monster Squad, which is a 90s movie where it reveals that the Wolfman has balls. But anyway, different topic. But yeah, like where they tried to play to like that horror element and having Blade as a vampire hunter. Later on, they had like Elsa Bloodstone. They had the Legion of Monsters, which had Morbius, Werewolf by Night, The Living Mummy, Man Thing, and Frankencastle, which is hilarious, which was a chopped up Punisher who gets stitched back together a la Frankenstein's monster and joins up with all these other monsters.
Oh no, mate, that's DC. Don't worry.
You thinking Swamp Thing?
No.
Well, no. See, when it comes to Morbius, I know Morbius is first. Like his first appearance was Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was a big. He was an ally / foe, kind of like the Lizard, where he'd verge between ally or enemy. Same with Venom. Yeah. Same with Sandman.
And like his movie where Jared Leto is playing him, he will be.
Oh, can't wait.
Or it will be released through Sony through the Spideyverse. It won't be any connection to the MCU.
Yeah, which is actually a bit of a disappointment.
Because it is, but it does make sense given the fact that when Morbius did come through the universe initially, was through the introduction through Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense considering Spider-Man is not in the Spideyverse at the moment. He's in the MCU.
He is, and he's also in the Spideyverse in what's his name? Into the Spider-Verse, the animated one.
Yeah, that's Miles Morales though, and that's
no, because
that's other versions of Peter Parker. It's not the mainstream MCU version.
Well, other versions of Spider-Man, not other versions of Peter Parker.
Yeah, sorry.
And no, because it's not part of the MCU, but it's part of the Spider-Verse because he had to do some research into that.
Yeah, but
That being said, Miles Morales is being teased for the MCU as well because they had the Prowler in Far From Home, who is his uncle,
they had him in Homecoming.
Didn't Disney and Sony do an agreement for this reason to be able to bring Spider-Man back to the MCU?
They
Yeah, it's
did.
just the
They
extended.
did. What was that? Sorry.
No, you go first, Tom. It's all good.
They did do a deal. It's technically already run out, but they extended it because Marvel killed off. Spoiler alerts. They killed off some of the leaders of the Avengers in Endgame, so they needed a new leader, and they thought, well, Spider-Man can take that mantle. And Sony went, well, fuck your ideas, because we want him back. And they came to an
Yeah,
agreement,
but there was
it
already.
looks like he will appear in Venom 2, but stay in the MCU for at least one more movie.
Yeah, well, I did hear that there was talk about Spider-Man showing up at the end of Carnage.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, didn't Disney buy Sony?
No, they bought Fox.
I know they bought Fox, but I thought they got Sony as well.
No. Sony's too big for them to buy. Because you got to remember, Sony's not only entertainment, Sony's also Viacom, which is MTV. Sony's also every bit of their hardware, so the PlayStation.
Yeah, so the PlayStation,
Blu-rays,
TVs,
TVs, all that stuff, cameras, all that is too big for Disney to buy.
Okay.
Sorry, not too big for them to buy, too big for it to be worth it for them.
Yeah. I'm going to double check that because I swore I remembered seeing something. But yeah, anyway, you guys keep going while I look this up.
Considering from last I heard, Disney went into the adult industry making movies. I'm pretty sure they're struggling for money a bit harder than what anyone realizes.
Yeah, well, like they own ABC in America, they own Hulu in America, they own Disney Plus and Star in across the world. They just got valuated at something like $10 billion.
Okay, so just ducking back to the Disney Sony sort of thing. So Disney is working with Sony for their theatrical comic book releases until 2026.
Yeah, which would explain what is it? The new one, the new Spider-Man is coming out late next year. And then the next Avengers is due in 2025. So that would be they'll be working with Spider-Man. Then they will try and renegotiate when they get there.
Yeah, that's provided that Disney hasn't taken over everything and released its own version of the coronavirus to make us all watch or something. I don't know.
It's funny, at the start of this segment, Jay actually said we'll probably go off into a tangent and talk about Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, it's a given. I called it.
Yeah, we called it. You called it, I should say.
Should we say called it or he jinxed it? He had plans to go on a Spider-Man.
All of the above.
It was just pre-positioning his where he wanted the conversation to be.
Exactly. It's my diabolical plan to turn all DC into Marvel.
Back to the original topic, though, of Batman. I think Matt Reeves is going to do a good job with the Batman. With Robert Pattinson and the new film. All reports are saying it's going to be based on the fucking Dark Knight series again. I think that's a bad idea. Because Christopher Nolan already perfected that. You can't do that again.
I wouldn't say perfected. He started strong, kept it strong, and then dipped down.
I would say he started low, got really, really good, and went down about halfway. Dark Knight Rises isn't as bad as everybody remembers. It's only bad because compared to its predecessor.
Oh, absolutely. But just, like as I said, my issues with it before. But yeah, anyway, so talking about our favorite, because I still haven't actually said who my favorite Batman actor is, and I don't know if you did either, Tom.
No, I couldn't really call it.
I will probably say, what's his name? The one that was in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Clooney.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably rate Christian Bale as like his Bruce Wayne was really charming. His Batman was intense because that's pretty much all Batman can ever really be.
See, what made Christian Bale so good is the fact that he's a method actor.
Oh yeah.
And when you put him and someone like
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, Heath Ledger together. Yeah, you got two of the biggest actors in the world that are
And
very,
they're both
very big
method.
on stepping into that methodology of being who they're acting, and you get them two together, and it was just that works so brilliantly together.
Yeah. I mean, like Christian Bale's method acting's to such a degree that he was actually out fighting crime during all this. He wasn't able to take the costume with him, but like his knuckle bruising was real because of the amount of bad guys he punched.
Really?
No, dickhead.
Oh, God damn. You said that with such conviction. I thought you were being serious. I'm like, I've never heard that.
I was like, well, I never heard that.
Guys, it's called method acting. I'm method acting pretending to be a serious podcaster.
Oh, God damn. My favorite, like I said before, it's hard to quantify. I think the 90s would have to be Keaton, even though he started in the 80s, but Returns was in the 90s. And then in the 2000s, it would have to be Bale. And
But wait, Tom, did I just hear you say that you liked a Christopher Burton, what's his name, a Burton film? A Tim Burton film?
I did say that in the last time you were on, except for the Batman films and maybe one other film. I like Tim Burton. I don't like Tim Burton.
No, you just said you liked him. Ha ha, we heard it.
I like those films.
You're going to edit out that gaff up, that fuck up, aren't you? Just so you
No,
just so there's no proof.
I'll leave it in to prove to everyone I am a human. But
Okay.
I think Robert Pattinson is going to surprise the living fuck out of everyone. Because back in the 80s, everybody hated the fact that Keaton was cast as Batman and said he wouldn't do a good job. In the 90s, everybody went up in arms and said that Kilmer wouldn't do a good job. They were right when they said Clooney. They were up in arms about Bale doing a good job. They were up in arms about Batfleck.
No. Bale didn't cut too much flack about being Batman. I remember him being probably one of the only Batman cast actors who actually everyone sat back and went, yeah, okay, I can see that.
I just love it when Batfleck was announced that Matt Damon instantly jumped on Twitter and said, "Don't worry, guys, I'm not Robin." I just thought that was great.
That's another one. Heath Ledger, when he was cast as Joker, everybody fucking hated it. Thought he was completely wrong for the role. Thought he was gonna be shit. But yeah, an Oscar later and a death later, and he's one of the greatest actors to ever live because of that one role.
Well,
no, it was multiple roles that he played that made him what the actor that he is. It wasn't just his role.
What I mean is, like, that's the role that put him on that iconic status. The others were just seen as him trying to reach the statue, and he could never get there. Brokeback Mountain was seen as him reaching for the statue and him failing to get to the statue.
He'd already reached the top before he even did that. That movie actually, in my opinion, knocked him back a couple of steps, if anything.
But I mean,
he'd done 10 Things I Hate About You. He'd been on numerous
The Patriot
series.
The Patriot and 10 Things I Hate About You. He was seen as the eye candy for the movie.
Except he was actually a good actor in The Patriot. Like,
I'm not much of a rom-com fan, but he was a good actor, but he was seen as the eye candy for the movie. That's why he was given the romantic situation to be in.
But so was Mel Gibson's character with his wife's sister.
Yeah, but that was inadvertent. Like, they actually showed Heath falling in love.
What about Heath Ledger in Dogtown? Lords of Dogtown. He killed it in that.
He did kill it, but
his role as Casanova.
He did kill it in Lords of Dogtown, but it made no money, and he didn't get any critical praise for it. Casanova, he got no critical praise for it. He was just the eye candy. In Four Feathers, he was very, very good in it, but it failed.
Oh,
And he
Brothers
got
Grimm was awful.
Brothers Grimm was fucking
But Heath
awful, and
Heath
it
Ledger,
made no money and got
Heath
no
Ledger played an
critical
amazing
praise.
part.
Oh yeah, he was
But
still a good
Heath
actor, and
Ledger
I think
played his part. And
So
that's
did
what
you
I'm
guys-
saying. I'm
Damon.
talking about his skill and his level
guys,
of acting.
hello, guys. I think you guys are both on different wavelengths. What Tom's talking about is getting that international praise, that what's it called, institutional praise of being like, he won like the Oscar and all that, which he hadn't done already. Like a lot of people had already known he was a good actor and quite a capable actor, but that is what cemented him, and people saw it because he actually got the recognition from his peers.
He
Whilst we can
got
go
to
back
prove
and point
it.
out a heap of other, we can go back through and point out all these other movies that he was amazing in. This is the one where he was actually acknowledged for it on a greater base.
Yes, he got to prove it in this one. It's the one that actually got to elevate him to the iconic status.
See, for me, this is just purely my opinion. Heath Ledger made it to stardom the moment he was taken from Home and Away and put into a Hollywood film.
Was he in Home and Away?
That's where he started, Home and Away. And he was taken from Home and Away and put into a Hollywood film. A small Aussie actor who was playing a small part on a local drama was spotted for his talents and pulled to the US to make, millions of dollar movies. To me, he made it the moment he was put on that plane and taken to the US to make a Hollywood film.
And that's where you two are on different wavelengths, where Tom's talking about the praise is iconic rather than just the made it. Because heaps of actors made it, but not that many become the iconic sort of thing.
Yeah.
So wait, we're in agreement? Okay, cool. We can keep going.
What?
We can stop yelling at each other.
Like, yeah. What Jay said, my thing is that he was a great actor, but he was never recognized as the great actor until the Joker.
It did take for his death for that to happen, but then that's the same as a lot of other actors that were the same. It took for them to die before people actually recognized how good they were.
Yeah, a few of them. Like, there have only been
River Phoenix.
I think 3. No, River was big before he died. He was.
Yeah, but he blew up even
Bigger
more when he
after.
died. It's like an artist, when they die, their stuff gets more expensive. He
True.
became that bit bigger because of what could have been, and everyone likes to romanticize the potential future.
Well, look what it did. It shot his brother into superstardom. Mind you, Joaquin's good in his own right. It just shot him into superstardom when River died.
Anyway, talking about Batman again, and Joaquin actually kind of brings me to this idea, is that Batman isn't the character you really go to the Batman movies to watch. Like, for me, Batman is like he's an intense character. He's a boring character. Like, there's not actually that much emotional depth to him other than my parents are dead, I'm going to fight crime and not kill. Whereas you look at the villains, they're the things that make the Batman mythos, for me anyway. It's like, even if we just go for the obvious bad guy being the Joker, and how they're the yin yang, and without the strong villain cast, I find that Batman really struggles as a character because there's not much depth. Even needing sidekicks that make him a bit more human in a lot of ways is needed as well. Otherwise, he's actually quite a boring character.
Yeah.
Well, even his sidekicks, they're introduced, and then there's only been 3 sidekicks that have stuck around and really are actually known to everyone.
Yeah, and I just love the hypocrisy of Batman. It's like, I saw my parents die, and I had to grow up straight away from being a little boy, and I don't want any other kids to experience that, except for the kids that I take in and make them grow up to be crime fighters. Like, it's a delicious bit of hypocrisy.
It is.
No, well, not really. I mean, it depends on how you look at that, because, I mean, with Dick Grayson, the reason he took him in was because he felt at fault, because he should have stopped Two-Face before it come down to the death of the Grayson family.
Oh, absolutely.
So
and then he takes away his childhood by getting him to become a crime fighter as well.
He does, and that's where he stuffs up, and that's where you see, the likes of once Dick Grayson grows up and takes off and becomes Nightwing, then you see, the introduction of Jason Todd, who Bruce tried everything to do the opposite and ended up
getting
having
crowbarred
killed.
to the face. No,
And
he
the only
didn't get
one that
killed.
Yes, he did. Joker killed Jason Todd. He
Yeah,
was
he
brought back
did.
by the Lazarus.
Was he actually brought back by
Jason
the
Todd
Lazarus Pit? I wasn't sure if it was
yes.
Lazarus Pit or not.
Yeah,
No,
Okay, fair.
killed him.
Talia brought him back with the Lazarus Pit, and that's what made him that twisted psychopath that the Red Hood become.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's I think like the villains are, like you said, what makes the Batman movies. It will be interesting to see what they do with Joaquin's Joker going forward, like whether he's gonna actually enter the Matt Reeves Batman universe or whether he's gonna be his own entity again.
I honestly don't know why that movie was made as part of DC. Like, you could have easily made that movie as just about a man struggling for... Oh, sorry, just burping. Struggling for a combination of relevance and mental health in a society that didn't care, and that would have made it such a good movie. But then it almost seems like all the Joker sort of stuff is almost tacked on and wasn't entirely necessary.
For me, when I watched the Joker movie, it was like looking at someone's vision of what would have happened if you would have fused Ronald McDonald and the Joker.
Yeah, to an extent. To me, it was more what would have happened if you fused the Joker and, like, what's her name? I've got her face in my head, but I can't remember her name. Winona Ryder from Girl Interrupted.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, like, I just don't see why it was necessary to make it a Batman movie using one of the most iconic villains, like, other than the fact that it's like, oh, this has got the Joker in it. I love the Joker in Dark Knight. We've got to go watch this. And it's like, wow, this is a completely different style of movie.
It all came down
Batman
to
has
Todd
one of
Phillips.
the biggest lists of villains.
He does.
Absolutely.
Lego
And
Batman listed them all off.
Well, the whole thing that I don't understand is with such a list of villains, why do we keep getting different variations of the Joker?
Yeah, exactly. Because
he's the biggest.
He's the most famous. He's the one that everyone's
known. He's not the biggest.
He's the one that everyone's gonna recognize and go, "Oh yeah, I know who that is." I haven't read a comic book at all, but I know that guy from the Heath Ledger movie. I know that guy from the Jack Nicholson movie.
Yeah,
or even the Jared Leto.
And yeah, he's that iconic one. He's, as I said before, he's the yin to Batman's yang. Like, he's that really big one, and he's considered, like, admittedly, Batman has multiple arch nemesis. But the Joker, like, if you go up to just average Joe Blow in the street, I would probably say, like, this is just an estimation, I'd probably say 9 out of 10, if you said who's Batman's main villain, they would instantly say the Joker. And I can I'm willing to actually go out and interview for that if it wasn't COVID. But
yeah, see, for me, it's Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, for comic book fans, it would be Ra's al Ghul. For the general public, it would be the Joker. Because we all know Ra's al Ghul is the big baddie, and even in some of the games they introduce him as the big baddie. But to the average person, the Joker is the only one they know.
More than that, they'll know Joker, Penguin, Riddler, Catwoman. They'll know the ones that pretty much made it.
Bane.
Yeah,
Two-Face and Bane, like Two-Face, yes. Bane, probably not as much. Like, the ones, like, the way I look at the iconic Batman villains, they're the ones that were in the Bane's definitely known, but that's only because of the Tom Hardy movie.
That's right.
Like,
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Like, before that, you tell people that Bane was in another Batman movie, most of the time they're like, huh, where? And then you reveal where it was. It's like, oh. And they don't actually know much about Bane's backstory other than the fact that he escaped to prison.
Yeah, I didn't like the part that they had Bane in that movie, because if you go back through the stories, cartoons, comics, Bane's crush and link up was Ivy. Ivy produced the venom that he pumps through him. So having him link
Really, I thought that was a separate thing. I didn't think that was Ivy. I know that was the movies that Ivy. Ivy didn't even produce it in that, did she?
Well, initially Bane had produced it himself, but then from then, this is just purely from memory. It's been years since I've read the comic. But the supply was destroyed by Batman. It was cut off, and he couldn't get it. And Ivy had the capabilities of mass producing it quickly. and that sort of had their team up then, which they teamed up quite a bit throughout most of the stories. I mean, I remember quite a lot of
so the original
stories where it was Bane and Ivy.
Bane was the only person to survive. Like, he got it in the prison, and the prison wardens were testing it on the prisoners, and he was the only one to survive that. Trying to think. It kept evolving. Scarecrow made some. So yeah, I only just did a quick look, but yeah, I think it's been made by so many different people.
Yeah, it all depends on who it was made by as well. Like, because storylines change here and there depending on who it was made by.
Well, I mean, originally, so the history of it was originally based on Our Man's Miraclo formula, which, I mean, he could only lasted for 60 minutes, which gave him the strength and speed and the agility, everything that he needed to be able to be Our Man. But that was the first form of venom. It's the drug usually injected in a constant supply into the base of the neck would instantly transform someone into a hulking mass.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where it come from Bane's first perspective. That's he was sort of a test subject for, I guess, Our Man's formula.
Well, one of many. Like, as I said, he was the only one to survive the prison testing of it on prisoners. Just like, yep, you do it, you die. But yeah, anyway, you probably know more about this. I shouldn't be arguing with you. I do apologize for that.
Oh no, I'm actually learning this as I let you know.
Yay, learning!
It was sometime later a new strain of venom was developed in Santa Prisca. The scientists to develop this new.
Yeah, and that's where the prison was. That that was the prison where Bane was, and he was the only one to survive it.
Yeah. He was the only one to endure the process.
So, top 3 villains from Batman, because we're on that topic at the moment. It keeps us on semi-tangent, and kind of continuing with what I said about how it's the villains that make Batman. So, Tom, who are your top 3? Do you have an idea?
My top 3 would be Ra's al Ghul, obviously, at number 1. Number 2, I know the whole conversation that he's overdone and all that stuff is obviously going to be the Joker. And number 3, probably Deadshot.
Deadshot, okay. Fair enough. What about you, James?
See, mine's a little bit different. See, my first one, I'm a big fan of Mr. Freeze.
Yep.
I think Mr. Freeze is great.
Is it Mr. Freeze or Dr. Freeze? I've never been clear on that. So I know he's a doctor, but I've also heard him called Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I always referred to him as being Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, he's Mr. Freeze.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wasn't sure on that. I wasn't like a contention or anything.
Yeah, he's not as qualified as, say, Dr. Pepper or anyone like that.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. He's the qualification levels of the other misters that are out there.
Okay.
Like the Mr. Man and stuff like that, yeah.
Mr. Clean.
So I'd say Mr. Freeze, Hugo Strange, and Black Mask.
Oh,
nice. I'm a big Hugo Strange fan as well. Just because I love the psychology of it all. I actually really love Scarecrow.
He's something else.
Scarecrow.
Who's Scarecrow or Mr. Freeze or Hugo Strange?
Hugo Strange.
Yeah, Hugo Strange is an amazing character and does a lot. I love Scarecrow, that whole playing into fear sort of thing. And the storyline that they actually did with, I think it's Batman Arkham Knight. The storyline they did there with the fear serum and the Joker serum sort of thing, and that combination was just really, really awesome. And then...
You're talking about the comic
is that the one where you actually have to fight?
Video game.
Okay.
Is that the one where you have to fight him as a giant form?
No, that's the first one, Arkham City.
Asylum.
It's the 4th one, because it goes Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and then Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight Pretty much Joker's died by this stage. Spoilers, but hey, it's an old game, so deal with it.
It's the one
But,
where he keeps
Just
coming
ruined it
back
for
as
me.
a ghost, isn't it? Like Joker.
No, he doesn't come back as a ghost.
Or
So
a hallucination.
not
I thought it
quite.
was a recording.
No, it's a bit of a recording, but it's more that the Joker's blood has infected certain people, and it's turning them into the Joker. And Batman's
yeah,
one of them
that's
that's
right.
infected.
But no, just since I played that game.
And yeah, it's a combination with the fear toxin and stuff like that. And yeah, it's Batman coming to terms and the psychology behind it. It's fantastic for that part. Other parts of the game, not as great, but that part of it was absolutely awesome. And then another bad guy for Batman, like, because I actually really love the Riddler, like how he's just this, he has to prove he's intelligent because he was beaten around by his dad because his dad was jealous of his intelligence. So he has to prove it to everyone and just keeps creating this OCD loop of do something, prove he's intelligent, get caught by someone more intelligent, recycle, and just that whole systemic cycle of mental illness and trying to get through it and trying not to repeat the same mistakes and still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So the Riddler is your third.
Yeah, I'd say the Riddler would be my third. But yeah, and as I said, like, that's three different people, all of which are bringing up some, like, maybe one or two similars, but for the most part, they're all different characters that have done so much for the story and have such depth to them. Whereas, as I said before, Batman doesn't have anywhere near the amount of depth as any of those characters.
Yeah. Speaking of which, like, I know this is a tangent, and this will be the last one that I shoot in before we go to the next subject. But I cannot wait.
Call bullshit.
I cannot wait for the Suicide Squad. I've said it before in multiple other shows, but I cannot wait for the Suicide Squad.
Just because you love John Cena.
Yeah, that, and I want to see what James Gunn does with all those characters, but it's going to be so
John
good.
Cena's actually why I'm not looking forward to seeing that movie.
Well, it's okay. You can't see him in the movie.
Apparently,
you can't see him.
He is so good that Warner Brothers have already given me his own spin-off show due to test footage. That's how good he is. Yeah, they've already confirmed it. It's gonna be.
I don't know
awesome.
if you ask Dave Bautista, John Cena ruined his movie career.
If you ask Dave Bautista, I don't know, fucking anything. That dude's too good to this.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Better question: why is Gamora
going to get hurt?
Exactly. My favorite line in the history of comic book movies is, "I go, you want better. Why is Gamora?"
I'm sorry, but my all-time favorite discovery about the movies was hearing how much Vin Diesel was paid to say, "I am Groot."
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
yeah, but
he even did his own lines in the different languages for the different things. So, like, he did his Spanish version, his German version.
And every single I am Groot is original.
One fucking line.
But
hey, he also says, "We are Groot."
Every single Groot is original. As in, he doesn't repeat the line, like, record it once and then have it repeated. He says it every single time the Groot says it.
Yeah, different.
From what I read, he was like one of the most paid actors on set.
Yeah, he was.
And you got the likes of, Chris Pratt, who's literally jumping through hoops to show how worthy he is. And just, I'm a huge Chris Pratt fan. I think he's just an iconic dude. Every role he played has been great.
He was paid more than Bradley fucking Cooper, who at the time was like a fucking mega star when Guardians got cast.
Mm. Well, like, if you want to keep
Chris
going
Pratt
with it, like,
this.
Chris Pratt was great as Star-Lord. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. He had the arrogance, the goofiness. He had everything down pat, and the ego and like the whole back and forth between him and Thor, where he's trying to make his voice more manly and everything. Like, fucking losing shit so every time.
I cannot wait for Thor: Love and Thunder. But anyway, let's continue on. So
told you we'd have a tangent before then. Suck it, Tom.
Fuck you. It is time to reveal the big news. The Before It Was Cool podcast is now on Patreon. There are 6 tiers to choose from, ranging from $1 to $100. $1 gets you just to help. $3 gets you a shout out in every episode, except for the episodes in the next tier. $10 gets you your choice. You choose the topic and I record a solo episode dedicated to you with no ads or other Patreon shout outs. $15 is Produce It Up. You get the opportunity to choose the week's topic and the co-host. The code should be attainable and knowledgeable on the subjects. 26 spots available. $50 gets you the VIP co-host position. 3 spots available. $100 is make the Before It Was Cool podcast your own. You and a person of your choosing make an episode. You can even change the intro music and artwork, and you can edit or ask Tom to edit to your specifications. Go to patreon.com before IWC and you will get to our landing page. That's patreon.com before IWC. Please support us so that we can continue to provide you with quality content each and every week.
So when we talk about the Killing Joke, I mean, it's a subject that I'm unsure about, especially being made into a live action movie. I mean, I read the comic books and the series were great. I mean, they were the best story, like one of the best comic series I read. But the animated movie, I was a bit let down with. I know it's a lot of people's favorites. So it's you know, it's definitely one of the top watched animated Batman movies made. But yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. I was a bit disappointed. There was a lot of big factors that were in the comics that were left out of that movie.
Yeah.
And was the reason for that because, like, in the comics, some of those factors were pretty full on. Like, what happens to Barbara?
Yeah.
The whole crowbar sort of thing that happens. Like, that's really big. And was the Killing Joke, the animated one, M or PG?
It was M.
It was M.
Yeah, which over in the States is
PG.
PG, yeah,
it's
it's
PG.
yeah, because I think if they were to do it properly, it'd have to get an R rating over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the animated. They've got the animated Red Hood movie. Where you
and what was it rated?
In that, it's rated M. From memory, it's rated M, and it shows the Joker beating Robin to death with a crowbar.
But yeah, I think some of the Barbara Gordon stuff would have been pretty heavy to do it properly, and like because it is an incredibly heavy storyline.
It is
the stuff that happens in it, and I think because it was still a part of the animated series, wasn't it?
What, the Killing Joke?
The Killing Joke movie was part of the animated series, like still with Kevin Conroy as Batman.
I think
I'm not sure. I thought it was its own standalone.
Yeah, I know it's its own standalone, but I think it's connected to the animated series through the voice actors, like you said. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Double check that later.
I think to do it properly
yeah,
in a live action adaptation of the film, they cannot get Zack Snyder to do it. They can't get Joss Whedon. They can't get any of the, like, Matt Reeves or Christopher Nolan or Tim Burton or anyone that has done Batman before. They have to, or Todd Phillips, who did the Joker. They can't get anyone. They have to get like a different style of director that is used to doing those kinds of films. Like, what's his name? Who did Seven and Fight Club? I can't remember his name, but him,
for
example.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that.
And do it really dark and gritty and fucking fight with your head the whole way, kind of thing.
I don't know. I think, considering Snyder's Watchmen, I think he could do it.
Yeah, but Snyder's Watchmen was the last film he did that was good, and that was almost 20 years ago.
Wow, that makes me feel fucking old. Thanks, Tom.
The Army of the Dead, or whatever the fuck it was called, is shit.
That's the one with Batista in it?
Yeah, it's the worst fucking zombie film ever released. People can argue with me on that. It fucking well is. Don't.
I have not watched it yet.
Don't. He's
I'll say
so
time.
it leaves story plot holes every fucking where. It doesn't use his fucking best weapon that they have at their disposal. It's got one cool element
What,
in
Dave
it.
Bautista?
No, the big fuck off fucking rotary saw that the black guy has.
Oh, yeah.
They don't ever use that. It has one cool thing, which is something that happens in Las Vegas, and I won't give out the spoiler. But fucking, it doesn't.
Well, I'm not going to
explain
watch it now, anyways. I mean, it sounds like it's really upset you.
It has one of Siegfried and Roy's tigers that become a zombie. That is cool.
Yeah, right.
That is like literally the only good part of the movie. It has plot
That might
holes
be worth
fucking
watching
everywhere,
it to see.
and it doesn't fucking tell you what happens to like 4 main characters, and it doesn't explain how this one guy fucking how he lives through the fucking nuking of a city after he's already been bitten by a fucking zombie when everybody turns within 30 seconds, but he flies all the way to another fucking city after walking out of a nuclear zone unharmed by the nuclear fallout, and he somehow doesn't turn that entire time until the plane is about to fucking land. My fucking god, I hate that movie.
So about the Killing Joke.
Sorry, I had to go on a tangent on why Zack Snyder has lost his touch.
Tom, I'll admit that entire rant, it gave me a little bit of an erection. I won't deny that.
It was worth it. Sorry.
So yeah, a live action version of the Killing Joke. Yeah, I do agree with Tom. You need a director who could do really dark and gritty.
Yeah.
But they can't be too artsy with it as well. Like for example, at first I thought, oh, maybe Tarantino, and it's like, no, he's too much in his own sort of thing to be able to really do something else outside of different source material.
Yeah, he hasn't. We haven't really seen much like Pulp Fiction for a while from him.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was pretty fucking good.
Oh, a lot of his stuff is good, but they're still different sort of things. Thinking about it,
it's not.
What about his good mate Robert Rodriguez? Get him to do it, considering he did Sin City, which the first one incredibly dark and gritty.
Yeah, that was done well.
I could see that.
Even the second one was done well. It's the same sort of thing, and it wasn't anything new. Like, I'm a big Sin City fan, so
he didn't want to do the second one. He got forced to do it by the studio, so he phoned it in.
Okay.
Wasn't he contracted
he can do
2 movies?
Yeah, and he didn't want that, but they forced him to do it. So he phoned it. He literally phoned it in. Well, some days, what's his name? Josh Brolin was saying he wasn't even on set some days. He just literally phoned it in. Like, literally rang up a DP and said, hey, this is what I want to happen today. Do it.
Yeah.
David Fincher, that's the name I was trying to think of.
For what thing? There's been a lot of things.
That did.
Wait, David Fincher made Venom?
No, that did 7. The name that I was trying to think of that has done like 7 and a few other films. I think he will be very
What's he done
good
since?
Fuck if I know.
You didn't even know his name a few seconds ago, so that's fair.
Yeah. He's done Fight Club. He did.
I think that was sort of the last good one he did.
Don't hold this against him. He did Alien 3.
He did do Alien 3. But then he also did Zodiac.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Zodiac.
And he also did
pretty decent thrillers.
And he did Go with the Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, House of Cards. Oh, he did Mindhunter. Okay, yeah, I'm all for it. He did Mindhunter.
It's Mr. Google here.
No, Mr. Wikipedia, motherfucker. He is also one of the lizard people. Wow, someone altered this one.
I did not realize he did Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yeah. Like, let me just get his filmography up. Yeah, his first one was Alien 3. It's like, ugh. Oh, wait, no. Oh, that's direct features. Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, 7, The Game, Fight Club, Panic Room, Zodiac, Benjamin Button, Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl, Mank.
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
Love, Death. Oh, he did Love, Death, and Robots as well.
He also did.
And he did.
No, what was that?
He did Love, Death, and Robots. It's a Netflix series that's very amusing.
Yeah. I know that one.
And then he also did the film clip for Janie's Got a Gun.
Sweet.
And he did like 3 Madonna film clips, some Stones ones, some Michael Jackson, some George Michael.
Roy Orbison, Billy Idol, George Michael.
Yeah, he's
A Perfect Circle and
done
Nine
some-
Inch Nails.
He did The Social Network.
Yeah. That was a really good film.
I haven't caught that one yet.
Haven't you? The one about Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
It's a pretty good film. It's like the only good thing that what's his name? The guy that ended up playing Lex Luthor in the new Superman movies.
What? Is it Jesse Eisenberg? No. Yes.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg is about the only good thing he's in.
Oh, I don't mind Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, I think he's done a few good movies.
Oh, sorry. That and Zombieland.
I enjoyed Zombieland.
Yeah, Zombieland's amazing.
Maybe Zombieland too. Yeah, but were they amazing
What about
because
30
of
minutes or
Jesse
less?
Eisenberg? Were they amazing because of Jesse Eisenberg?
He adds to it a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, the Zombieland series are better because of they're best because of Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, exactly. You take him out and it's just a whiny, naughty fuckhead.
No,
You
because
might
they
as well
need
have-
each other to play off each other. It's a neurotic, over-the-top sort of character with this loosey-goosey, near sociopath, and they played well off each other. And I think
literally
without the two of them, it wouldn't have worked.
Literally anyone.
Well, I mean,
could
if you
have
look at
done
something like
Jesse Eisenberg's
Adventureland,
role.
if you look at a movie like Adventureland, I mean, the only reason it was bearable and watchable was because of Jesse Eisenberg.
The only reason it was nearly
Christian Stewart
unbearable
definitely
was
brought nothing
because
to the
Christian
table.
Stewart. The only reason it was
Yeah.
nearly unwatchable was because
Yeah, she's not got no talent.
she doesn't.
No, there's some more recent stuff she's come out with that's actually turned out okay by what I've been reading. Like, I haven't watched it just because I've got no interest, but yeah, like there's been stuff
for characters that are blank and emotionless because she is blank and emotionless.
There
It
was
doesn't matter
true.
the role she plays; she is blank. I mean,
there was
look at
literally
Twilight.
only one.
Twilight's the perfect example. There's a scene there where she's meant to be sad, devastated, and
She looks
you know,
normal.
like it's meant to be the saddest part of the whole movie, and she looks like she's bored.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that they've actually did really smart with the whole Twilight thing and getting her as an actor for it is because with the Twilight books, when they explain Edward, they explain him down to the nth degree, like how he smells, how he's like skin sheds, like everything. Whereas
I can't say I got that much.
Neither did I, but when they're describing what Bella is, they keep her as blank as possible. So any characters, like any girls reading it, can instantly put themselves in that role very easily.
Yeah.
And by having someone is, as you said, just blank, it's easier to fantasize, and that's the whole thing of it all.
But that's the thing. Once you take a book and turn it into a movie, you've now put a face to that character.
Oh, absolutely,
Put the right
absolutely.
face to the character.
Yeah. Speaking of putting
Anyway,
faces
back to Batman.
character, speaking of putting faces to the characters, if they did a live adaptation of The Killing Joke, who would play the Joker? Because, let's face it, to me, in The Killing Joke, the Batman and Bruce Wayne subsequently are the secondary characters. The Joker is the main character. I know it was released as part of the Batman series, but it's Joker's film.
Absolutely.
To be
Joker
fair,
for that, it has to be someone who's...
I've always wanted to see them cast the same character or the same actor as both Batman and the Joker.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Ooh.
Would that work?
That makes
for
my
The
nipples
Killing
hard.
Joke?
I like that idea.
Would that work for The Killing Joke?
Well, the whole idea of it is they are polar opposites.
I could see it work.
So to have them played by the same actor, it really puts you in that mindset of what would Batman be if he was the opposite to what he is? He would be the Joker.
True.
And if the
True.
Joker was the opposite to what he is, then you've got Batman. They literally are each
They should get Jesse Eisenberg for this one.
Fuck that, Kristen Stewart all the way.
No, I think she'd be better off playing Jason Todd's corpse. She'd be fine as Jason Todd's corpse.
Be brave, cast a woman.
So if I was to go,
because I've only ever seen doing the 2-role thing done twice successfully. That was by Nick Cage in Adaptation, and by Tom Hardy in fucking what's the name?
Where he plays the twins.
Yeah. I can't. I'm terrible with names.
Hey, what about Lindsay Lohan in The Parent Trap?
But
when I was little, I had the biggest crush on her in that movie.
But I've seen it done successfully twice. Nick Cage.
I just brought up a third time, motherfucker. Do not ignore me. I will not be silenced.
No, I said I have seen it. You've seen it 3 times. I disagree. But Nick Cage is too old to play Bruce Wayne. Maybe not too old to play the Joker. And because Batman's covered up, it doesn't really matter. But I think he's too old to play Bruce Wayne, unless, of course, they just age the characters up. In which case, I think he could do a good go of it. Tom Hardy obviously can't do shit because he's locked in the Spideyverse. But
I wouldn't mind seeing for the Joker, and it's done the rounds on online a few times, and it's what's his name again? I keep going to the wrong character and saying the wrong. Willem Dafoe.
No, I'd like to see Derek Mears as the Joker.
Who's that? I can't remember.
Okay, so Derek Mears played Jason Voorhees. He also was the Predator in Predators.
So that's the Rob Zombie Jason Voorhees, or no? That's Michael Myers. Sorry, wrong one. Sorry,
Michael Myers.
I was going to say Rob Zombie never did Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Sorry, I had the wrong one.
He's played quite a few Jason Voorheeses. That's probably the character he's
as the Joker
known for.
What's he like as an actual performer? Because playing Jason Voorhees doesn't involve exactly much acting. It's more physical, intimidating presence.
So The Hills Have Eyes too. He was the main deformed killer.
Yeah,
but I think he'd be quite good. He played roles with in Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, the one that Hawkeye's in.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah,
is it Jeremy Renner? Yeah.
He's done a few. Yeah. He's done a few.
What was his name again?
Derek Mears. DerekMears. I think he would be a really good Joker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chuck a wig on him and he'd be good to go. He's got that. He's got that face to him that the Joker in the comics has. He's got that facial structure. It
would be hard to cast both of them because one has such a unique facial structure in the Joker, and the other one is classically handsome.
Chuck him in a bat mask, and really anyone can be Batman.
Yeah, but he's still got to be Bruce Wayne.
Not in The Killing Joke. I think in The Killing Joke you could actually ignore the whole Bruce Wayne character.
Yeah, but to a mainstream audience, if a director doesn't introduce Bruce Wayne, he's gonna get murdered. And the
he's not.
The studio is going to make him do it.
How many movies, TV series do they reference Batman and Bruce Wayne, but you never actually witness him?
And even more than that, more than that, you've never seen a movie called Bruce Wayne: The Dark Knight. It's always Batman.
True.
Batman is the critical character here.
True.
Everybody
but
now
they didn't
knows.
show Bruce in Suicide Squad and it failed. Every movie that hasn't shown Bruce in it has failed.
Yeah, but they barely showed Batman in it as well.
Yeah, because it failed.
No,
But that
I
was the
think
thing, though. The main factor there was that they referenced Batman. It wasn't a reference of Bruce.
the only issue is Derek Mears has played Swamp Thing,
He's already
and so
been
he's already.
there.
Yeah, but we're talking about a potential hypothetical movie here, guys.
Yeah, but it's still got to work in the parameters of reality, as in like.
Well, I mean, if we're going to do that, then look at Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but still, he's already been the Green Lantern, and then Warner Brothers have said that they won't trust a comic book franchise in his hands ever again.
But that was only because he went back to Deadpool.
Yeah, but it's also because the Green Lanterns failed so fucking hard.
Yeah, but that wasn't his doing.
Kind of was. Have you seen the film?
I'm a fan of it, actually. I quite like it.
Oh, you're the one.
I do like the Green Lantern. I mean, I feel for Ryan Reynolds having to wear that.
My point
it feels like it's been a few minutes since I said anything.
My point is that Warner Brothers, who own the rights to all film adaptations of DC properties, will not let a movie that has Batman released as one of the main characters be released without at least showing Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I think I'm going to disagree with that one because it's not Bruce Wayne who's the main actor. Like, it's like you could happily have.
Got to show the alter ego.
Do you though?
Yeah, you do. Name one superhero movie that doesn't show the alter ego.
Well, let's actually face facts here. If you go through any other superhero, the fight that they have with their alter ego and their superhero identities is the fact that they're trying to find time for the superhero side of it. Bruce Wayne is consistently being harassed about being more human and taking more time as Bruce Wayne. So wouldn't Bruce Wayne be the alter ego instead of it being Batman?
Similar to the Superman Clark Kent sort of alter ego element.
Yeah, but still, that's what I mean. Like the alter ego
because
element.
It's not Bruce Wayne.
Shown.
It's not Bruce Wayne pretending to be Batman. I mean, Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he's pretending to be Bruce Wayne.
Sure.
Ozymandias in Watchmen, they didn't show his alter ego because he's just the same person.
Yeah, he's the
same
same
with
person.
Dr. Manhattan.
Same with the Joker. It's the same person. And that's
so you're talking about superheroes and their alter ego and not showing the
that's
alter ego.
That's how they get away with
two examples.
But that's how they get away with it because they're the same person. Whereas Bruce Wayne and Batman are two different people.
Bruce Wayne is Batman. Like, there is no Bruce Wayne anymore. It's a facade.
Sorry, you've got to correct that. I am Batman.
Exactly. I'm Batman.
And that's the thing. I mean, every single movie, every comic, every story, Alfred is harassing Batman to be more Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Where Bruce Wayne's existence is purely for the fact that he needs to be a face for Wayne Enterprise. He needs that $1 billion income to be able to keep the high-tech gadgets he uses. Bruce Wayne is the facade.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, if you're having a movie where they're gonna show the fact that he has to create and the money to create all these gadgets, you still have to have a Bruce Wayne character.
But the thing is, the whole thing with the story of The Killing Joke, it's about Batman, like, for a lot of it, trying to get there in time to save Jason. Then it's coming to terms with that grief. And it is all about Batman's mistakes. Like, it's more like where he would be in costume for the entire thing and it would work. Yeah. Like, there's not a huge amount of the storyline where he is out of that.
True. But what I'm saying is
it's a phone call.
What I'm also saying is
Batman, and Alfred's talking to him through like a phone system.
True. But what I'm saying is the money-hungry conglomerate that is Warner Brothers are going to want that face to put on their posters, to do the interview rounds, all that stuff.
Are they, though? Because,
even like the new Batman, I mean, you look at Robert Pattinson, which, I mean, I'm not overly fussed about him being Batman, but we'll see what he brings to the table. But you look at all their advertisement. It's not him dressed as Bruce Wayne. It's him in the Batsuit.
And they don't really sell. They don't sell Bruce Wayne masks. They sell Batman masks.
And they haven't started ramping out all the interviews yet for it, where it's going to be Robert Pattinson with his pretty little face and his big eyes sitting there in front of a camera.
We're not going to see that until after the movie comes,
or just before it. But either way, it's still going to be him.
That's the thing. It's going to be a wait until after. When it comes to him, the interviews, all that's going to come after the movie's been released, because everybody's on the fence about what he's going to actually do.
But
the trailers that they've shown shows him in fight sequences which
are brutal,
aren't hard to learn when you're trained, and they look good. They look great. He looks awesome in the Batsuit. But we also don't hear him speak throughout that trailer. We also don't see Bruce Wayne through that trailer.
Exactly, because the trailer was released almost a year ago. What I'm saying is that there is almost no superhero movie that doesn't do preamble friggin' media. Like Scarlett Johansson has been doing media for Black Widow for almost a year and a half now.
Yeah, but that's a character
not saying
who,
no media.
Her face is her mask. She's not. Black Widow is Black Widow. There's no mask that she wears.
I know. I'm not saying keeping it under the mask. I'm saying Robert Pattinson as a person will still have to do media beforehand. The studio will want.
No, we're talking about the difference in the fact that you could get away with a Batman without showing Bruce Wayne's face. You could.
Yeah, you could.
Because
but at the
Bruce
same
Wayne's
time,
face
the
is not
actor
the
still has to be appealing to the mainstream.
The thing is, if everyone already has the knowledge that Robert Pattinson is Batman, which they do, they'll know that. They'll see Robert Pattinson, they'll be like, oh, is he Batman? No, they're going to know it straight away. Like, that's...
He's out of the suit. Oh, he must be playing Bruce.
Yeah, and like, the whole thing of the Bruce Wayne character, like, he's not what people go to see. Like, and the thing is, if Robert Pattinson is getting interviewed, people are going to know it's about Batman, especially when people start talking about Batman. Like, they're going to be able to equate the face to the guy underneath the mask.
Yeah, they can.
The questions are going to be about Batman, not about Bruce Wayne.
They will be, but what I'm saying is that Warner Brothers picked Robert Pattinson for a reason. In front of those interview cameras,
he was cheap.
In front of those interview cameras, he's charming and he looks good.
No denying.
After Twilight, he's cheap to hire.
Yeah, but after Tenet, his prices went back up.
Yeah, but Tenet's only fairly new.
Tenet's like a year and a half old.
No, I didn't think it was that old.
Oh, it came out around the start of 20. It was one of the last films released before the COVID thing shut all the cinemas down.
Here, I'll go back to Wikipedia and look up Tenet. So we've got an actual answer here.
Handy to have Mr. Wiki.
Oh, yeah. I got skills, man. It's finding things that may not be true. Tenet film 2020.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was released. Release date was August 26th, so it's almost a year old.
Wow. I thought it came out.
Still fairly new.
That's my birthday. I thought it came out way before my birthday.
Well, there you go. It's not even a year old yet.
Well, either way,
yeah,
he was still fucking brilliant in that. But also, you're forgetting that the Twilight films made like $1 billion at the box office. They're still a box office draw. And he is still the pretty face that they want to put in front of those interview cameras. Like, my suggestion for if we're doing the dual Joker Batman role thing would be Andy Serkis. But it's like that goes against my point of that charismatic, classically handsome Bruce Wayne that you can put in front of those interview cameras. But my God, he will play the living fuck out of the Joker.
Oh, he'd be a fine Joker, like. But yeah, like the dual thing, like that's a role that I can't pick. Like it's something that's going to take a lot of longer reading, but I think it's a really interesting concept, and I would love to see it done well.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, I really want to see a Smeagol Batman now.
The multi-line processes.
No, but think about him in think about him in the Planet of the Apes series when he played Caesar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did the body work for Caesar. That's a bit different to actually playing him.
Well,
The
he did
expressions and stuff
every
with him,
single movement for Caesar. He did
all
everything.
the facial expressions and movements and that are all him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like the king
the
of
face
CGI.
is part of the body.
And think about him in the MCU. He was fucking
But
awesome.
let's face it, if you put Gollum and Caesar next to each other, it really is just Gollum with more hair.
Almost.
Fair.
Smaller eyes and more hair.
True.
And not as emaciated.
But like, look at him in the MCU. Look what he did in Black Panther.
Ulysses Claw, isn't he? He's Ulysses Claw, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he is a fucking tank of a human being in those movies. And he's so fucking evil without trying to be.
It's interesting. Like,
mind you, he's a little bit more slimy than the Joker should be.
no, the Joker is slimy. Like, everything with Harley Quinn, he's slimy as fuck.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Joker isn't slimy. I'm saying that he's a little bit too slimy in a sleazy kind of way.
Well, to be honest, I'd be okay with that because it might finally break this thing of like everyone saying that I'm his Harley, he's my Joker. And it's like, no, that is the worst comparison for a relationship that you could do. Why don't you say you're Sid and Nancy or bloody... what's his name? Woody Allen and his stepdaughter. Like, it's not a good thing for a relationship and to compare yours to.
Exactly. But
like,
yeah.
Ugh. Sorry, but yeah, like,
who would
sorry,
play?
that's just a real personal pet peeve whenever someone compares their relationship to Joker and Harley
Who would
or
play
Sid and Nancy.
Jason
It's just
Todd?
like, ugh. Sorry?
Who would play Jason? Is it Jason Todd?
Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Angry teen into corpse.
Angry teen. Kristen Stewart.
That's the corpse part. We've established this. I was going to say, it could be interesting getting Tom Holland for it.
No,
it's Disney would never let him do it.
I know no, Sony wouldn't let him go.
No, he
No,
hasn't.
Disney-
He hasn't got the mentality for that sort of a character. He's not.
Hey, they
I
said
don't know.
the same
Jason
thing.
Todd.
They said the exact
I don't
same
know, like
sort of thing
Jensen-
about
Jensen
Heath
Ackles.
Ledger.
No, Jensen
Yeah.
Ackles I could see being more so the Jason Todd sort of style character, but I mean he's a bit too old to play that
Yeah,
role
he's too
now.
old.
But he would be like him in his younger day would be who I would have said would have been awesome, and he voiced Jason Todd so well in the Redwoods animated movie.
Yeah.
He was great in that.
Who would be young enough to do an angry teen Jason Todd and be able to act it well?
I know. Will Ferrell.
Get fucked, cunt.
How about Will Forte?
Who's that again?
Will Forte. How did I bring this name onto people and people are like, who the fuck's Will Forte? It's Will fucking Forte. He's been in literally everything. Did you see that movie? He's in it. That one. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. He's in it. Everything.
Oh, Debbie Does Dallas.
I don't know. I reckon Timothy Chalamet would be a good one.
Yeah.
He was the young guy from Homeland.
Yeah.
I think he'd be I think he'd play Jason Todd pretty well. He's got the right look to him as well and the right attitude that Jason Todd had.
What, angry emo kid almost?
Yeah.
Actually,
always
Jimmy
got to throw
Carmella.
this name out. Tom Hardy. Always
you
gotta
just want
say.
Tom Hardy as everything.
Exactly. He's fucking great.
Actually, someone who's young enough who could probably do it because I've seen him do some pretty decent acting. Cameron Monaghan from both, like he's already played a Joker equivalent, Jerome Valeska or whatever his name is in Gotham, but then he's also then played characters in Shameless.
So
Don't tell me I've lost you both again. No.
I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of his adaptation of the Joker.
Which one? There was like 3 of them.
Gotham.
Yeah, I know. In Gotham, there was like 3 different adaptations of the Joker.
Yeah. I'm still yet to finish the last of that.
Well, you would have seen, because there's the fact that he begins as one of them who plays up the really campy, theatrical, almost Joker and anarchist. And
What
then
about
when he infects his
Dylan
brother...
Minetti?
Who?
Dylan Minetti,
Who's that?
main actor from 13 Reasons.
Not what
13 Reasons
Reasons,
Why.
so-
Yeah, he's like he tried to do the feature film thing with the house guest or whatever it was, and like he failed. I think he's
I
better
still
off
think
doing
he
TV
actually.
shows.
I don't think he'd be too bad as a Jason Todd either.
Yeah, I think. Oh no, I'm gonna butcher his name, but Alex, I think it's Hall Anderson. Alex Hall Anderson. I can't pronounce his middle name. It's Danish, but he's played Ivar the Boneless in Vikings.
Oh yeah,
Ah!
yeah, definitely could see Ivor the Boneless being a Jason Todd.
Because in real life, he's
that's a really
obviously got
curious one.
bones, but like I think he could do it.
I thought you might have just been having, a bit of an emotional connection there with the actor.
I do. A guy that can't walk that can kill everyone. I love it.
Can't get an erection either.
Yeah, but that's the difference between him and me. I have two kids. He has none. Boom.
I was going to say, are you sure they're yours? But yes,
believe
they
me,
are.
they are
yours.
mine.
I've met them.
Yeah, exactly. They even laugh like me. They even fight and laugh like me.
To be honest, like the laughing part is alert behavior, so that's not hard. You're around them all the time. But the farting, yeah, bowels are genetic. I'm getting that on a t-shirt now. Bowels are genetic.
My daughter looks so much like me that Facebook actually tagged me in photos of her and my wife.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that would be my pick for Jason Todd. He's got that charismatic swagger that was noticeable on screen for what he has to do. He's got the acting chops to pull off what he's got to do, and he's got the look.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I actually really like that idea. Just it goes with the same issue as before. Just as long as he doesn't look as slimy, like his character. Like Ivar is such a slimy character.
He is, but at the same time, he can.
He's captivating. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's captivating, and he can clean up very nicely. And he's very good at
playing.
He's very good at doing whatever's asked of him as well.
What about the guy who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones?
No,
he's already been in the Dark Knight.
Yeah, he's going to grow up to be Jason Todd.
Oh. It would be satisfying to watch him die. It would be satisfying to do that, but at the same time, nah, he's too scrawny and he retired.
Yeah, that's
Didn't he want to become a school teacher or something?
Something like that. I don't know, but I know he retired.
What was it? I just had another one that could have worked. Admittedly, you'd have to bulk up for the role, and I think he'd probably be too old. But the guy who played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, like he is pretty scrawny at the moment. He wouldn't be too old. He could play down quite easily, but
and he's got a youthful look, sort of thing. So, and he could play that. He can play angry well. But yeah, Tom Felton, that's him.
Yeah.
Oh no, God, he's aged badly. No, he's not doing it. Holy shit, he's older than me.
Yeah. He hit the bottle pretty fucking hard. You can get him on Cameo, so why don't you just call him Matt Benoxen?
I'm not wasting my money on that.
It's like almost $1,000.
Yeah, fuck that.
But yeah, I think
Wait, have we lost James?
Ed James, yeah.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
He's just
Just
listening.
listening, judging.
He's like, you two are fucking morons. Why did I do this?
I am digesting what Tom just said.
Which one? Which bit,
Ivor.
I mean? Ivor.
Well, the fact that you agreed with Malfoy being a good Jason Todd, I mean, I'm just in shock.
No, but I just, like Jay, I just looked up a picture of him. No. My answer is a solid no for that one. I'm thinking of him back in like Harry Potter 6 time when he still looked young enough to do it and he still had the acting chops to do it, but now no.
Yeah, he looks well. The last image I seen of him, and it has been a while. I think he looks like a junkie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He looks like a young. Oh, now I've forgotten his name. Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin.
I
Yeah.
was thinking the exact same thing.
Or Macaulay
He
Culkin.
looks like a young Macaulay Culkin.
At least Macaulay Culkin cleaned up.
Oh yeah, and he's been doing stuff recently, and though that's actually a thought. Like I've only seen him in one thing, but he was acting pretty well in it. But his younger brother, who was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World as the gay roommate.
Yeah.
Have you seen either one of the Home Alones?
What, the original ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, of
I think
course.
everyone's seen
Then
that.
you've seen his little brother. It's his cousin that drinks the Pepsi.
Really?
Yeah, that's his
Oh.
little brother.
And now I've learnt something.
Fucking, what's her name? Mary Kate Olsen would be good as Jason Todd. Oh, God, I love being a dick.
No. The difference here, one of the Olsen twins killed the Joker, not the Joker killed them. You got it round the wrong way around.
Conspiracy theory, and it kind of fits. Well, I was looking into it the other day, and I'm like, what the fuck? She killed Heath. What the fuck? That is fucking brutal. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Alrighty, so we're going to end it there because we've been talking for a long time. I've enjoyed the living fuck out of this, and I'm hoping that James comes back for another show at some point because we have more to talk about other than Batman and me ranting about how Zack Snyder's new movie is shit. So I've been Tom Roberts. This is Jay Later.
Yo, see you later, everyone.
See you later, guys. It's been fun.
You're supposed to jump in. You're supposed to introduce James, Jay.
Oh, that's what was happening.
Yeah, okay. I'll start that sequence again.
No, fuck it, leave it in. That was great.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you, James, for coming on and enduring our ranting, raving bullshit and possible butchering of one of your beloved favorite childhood memories. I'm imagining now that next time you go to watch a Batman movie, you're just gonna fall over, piss yourself in the fetal position, and just start crying.
We'll see Draco
yeah.
Malfoy fucking everywhere.
I will now.
If my father hears about this,
definitely be back to do it again. No, it's been fun.
no, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We didn't scare you too much.
Next time you're on, we can argue about wrestling because there have been a few people that have argued, or Spider-Man. There have been a few people that have tried to argue against me on wrestling, but I'm pretty stood in my ways, and I know more than the average bear. Is that the saying? Yeah. It is now.
Yeah.
But
There's
I
probably
know
a good
more
chance
than the
that we're on the
average
same
person,
wavelength.
and I tend to piss a lot of people off with my point of views, and I do not give a fuck. But yeah, this has been the For It Was Cool podcast, episode 7. I believe. Thank you all for listening. Goodbye.
And hopefully this was better than Star Wars Episode 7.
Oh, God damn.
Anyway, that's just going to lead to another tangent. So I'm saying bye now. Bye.
Have a good one, guys. Been a pleasure.
Bye.